welcome back to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws, brought to you by our good friends at Top Sport. Don't forget to like and subscribe, give us a follow and shout out anytime you can. Dan, pretty good weekend of Rugby League.
Started terribly and got progressively better.
Yeah, look, two games of footy that were dreadful and 2 games of footy that were pretty good.
Yeah, 2 brilliant finishes. So,
Now,
I thought it lived up.
Dan, as with every weekend, Rugby League gives us some great talking points. Now we have to talk about the first one, Jack Whiten. Tell me your thoughts.
First and foremost, I thought it was handled well by the officials. I've seen 7 or 8 replays, couldn't tell you whether he bit him or not. There's a line of thinking that, of course, he bit him, there's teeth marks, and there's also a line of thinking that the guy had his forearm so far in the guy's mouth that if you push your forearm against your teeth, there's going to be marks whether he bit him or not. So I think making it the match review committee's decision is a good decision. Sending him off would have been absolutely ridiculous considering there wasn't a straight bite mark. I'm in the camp of Gamble, it was Tyson Gamble, had his hand there for so long that of course he was going to get bite marks. Couldn't tell you whether he bit him or not, but if he did, he probably had a reason to. I thought they handled it excellently.
I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you on this, right? And I'll give you the reasons as to why I'm with you. With a bite, Ashley Klein did not see that.
No, he didn't.
So he cannot have an opinion on this, right? So it's taken completely out of Ashley Klein's hand. Tyson Gamble got up and said, he bit me. Game stopped. Ashley Klein says, tell me what's happened. He bit me. Cool. Goes to the video referee. We've got an alleged bite here. The video referee's in Ashley Klein's ear saying there's a forearm in the mouth. And then you hear Klein straight away saying, am I sending him off or am I putting it on report? No, you can't send him off because there's not a clear bite. So it's on report. That's exactly how it played out.
Textbook.
Now, let's go back to Ash Werner, the Broncos Roosters. The referee, the same thing. There was a complaint about the bite. The referee went to the video referee, and the video referee turned around and said, it's a blatant bite. Clear as day, she's got to go. Take it back further to a previous biting incident, Kevin Proctor and Sean Johnson. You could see Johnson's arm being lifted from the bite. And the video referee turned around and said, it's clear as it's a bite, send him off.
Got to go,
The biting comes down to the interpretation of the video referee, and the video referee could not make a call. Let the match review committee handle it.
Now I saw pretty much a 50-50 split on people who said, that's disgusting, he's got to be sent off, and other people say, what's he supposed to do? He's got his forearm in his mouth, that's on Gamble. I like the fact that a penalty wasn't given because if a penalty's given and he's put on report but not sent off, then they're hedging their bets. I like what they did. I thought they handled it extremely well. I don't think he has too much to worry about. They may say...
Apart from the mark on Tyson Gamble.
Now, did you see Tyson Gamble say there's slobber here, this isn't sweat, it's slobber. And I'm like, okay, so what? Then they zoomed in and there's clear bite marks and I was like, I've been roasted here. So I don't think he's got anything to worry about because I didn't see a bite.
I didn't see a bite.
So on the footage, unless, of course, there's another angle that we haven't seen because you can't look at them all. You can't take 15 minutes to decide. Game's got to go on. Maybe he's in trouble, but this, a bite is a filth thing and it's 4 to 6 weeks straight away. I don't think he's going to get suspended.
I think he's going to get 1 week because of the mark on the arm.
I would be okay with that.
I think you'll get 1 week because of the mark on the arm.
You saw a lot of South fans come out and say, why have we got a blah, blah, blah.
Well, that's what happens.
It's the rules and it happens every year. So
I mean, if he tears his ACL, what are you going to do, cancel his contract? No. You can't do that. Now, Dan, I reckon we're going to disagree on this one, mate. Up the pars. Again, I'll let you go, and then, as we know, I'll have my say on this.
That's completely fine. That's why we're here on a Sunday night. That was pretty stupid.
I thought it was magnificent.
Penrith have this built-in victim mentality, right? Where they, straight away, when they beat someone, it's glory, glory to South Sydney. And then first thing they did when they came out and beat the Warriors is, up the pars, we're so funny. Why? What good comes from nerny, that schoolyard BS. They just beat a team that was flying and should have been like, we're into our 27th prelim in a row. Let's get going. Jerome Luai's going to be fit for the prelim. Let's get ready. Another grand final. We're going to three-peat. And the first thing they did was they went online and they took a ridiculously cringeworthy, disgustingly awful song and put it to some footage and tweeted it out from the official account. And Penrith fans like, oh, well, the club doesn't do it. You represent the club. You're the Twitter @ you represent the club. The club posted that. Technically, it was stupid. People that are claiming offence are overreacting. Now, I saw some people come out and mention that there was a Crichton tongue out, which some interpreted as making fun of the Maori culture. I don't know whether I agree with that or not. If some people took offence, well, obviously, as a white guy from the Shire, I don't know. I thought it was dumb. I thought it was childish. And I thought it was cringeworthy. But Penrith fans come out. Now, I backtrack a little bit. Their CEO's gone to the Warriors CEO and rang him and said, sorry, bad taste, deleted the post. And Penrith fans came out playing victim. Oh, everyone's against us. Stop doing dumb shit.
Look, I'm of the complete opposite here because
that's fine.
I'm a terrible winner, right? I am a terrible winner to the point of when I win, I'm letting you know all about it, right? Now, the Warriors came out and made that song Up the Waz, right? As if that's not going to get knocked. As if you're not going to get mocked for it, right?
Well, they should.
Like, the minute Cronulla lose, you can just see the tweet straight away, down Cronulla, right?
Clever, yeah.
Very clever, right? So, I mean, you've just humiliated a team, 32-6. Just rub it in. Keep rubbing that salt into the wound. That's where I'm at there. And I'm fine with it. The thing that I hate the most is that, one, Penrith deleted it, and two, they apologised for it. I would have retweeted it from the account, and I would have tweeted it again.
What good comes from what they did?
They won. They have every right to do whatever they want.
Cool. They got a prelim coming up. You want to be in there dancing up the pars, which again,
but they have every right to do it for 24 hours afterwards. It's fair game. They can do whatever they want because I guarantee you today they're not even thinking about it. They were in the dressing room taking the absolute piss out of a team that they just destroyed and toyed with for 80 minutes. Today, they're back in a video session. They're back on the training field. They're on the weights. And they're back doing what they do, which is winning. They have every right. Like, when they beat Cronulla 54-24, their fans, their players and everything were mocking the hell out of us. And what can you do about it? You can't do anything. They've got the right to do it. And you know what? If they win the grand final, they beat the Broncos, they beat the Warriors, they beat the Storm, they beat the Knights, whatever. I guarantee there'll be a social media post because they deserve to do it.
Of course they will, because it's Penrith and they cannot help themselves.
And they deserve to do it. Now, sticking with Penrith, add the Broncos.
On a positive this time.
The gap between first and second to everybody else, oh boy.
It's ginormous.
It's huge.
Now, last week we fell a little bit into the trap of, geez, Melbourne have beaten them yet again.
I picked Brisbane.
Yeah, look, you were one of 5 people. Congrats on that. And genuinely, I don't mean to make light of that.
Oh, so you're mocking me?
Yeah, I am.
All right,
As
Penrith.
a Penrith fan, I can mock you. But seriously, Melbourne came in with an unbeaten hoodoo streak. 14 or something games in a row. And Brisbane said, not today, my friends. And Melbourne played the worst game I've seen them play in several seasons.
And Brisbane played the best game.
Brisbane were so good. So good. Now, I got a little bit annoyed with them last week that they let the minor premiership drop. And I maintain that. They should have won it. But given that performance, if you could go back and do it again, I'm doing it again. They were brilliant. Yeah,
look, they were for mine, best performance of the round.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Given the quality of opposition.
Best performance. I don't think it was the best game of the round. I think Newcastle and Canberra spoiled us, right? But that was the best performance of the round from the Broncos. They were magnificent. And as we always joke about it, if they were still playing now, Melbourne haven't scored a try.
Yep. It's true. But did you see Reece Walsh on social media after going, yeah, we beat the Storm? No, he didn't, because he's got class. Unlike Penrith,
Reece Walsh has no class.
Good point. Who absolutely ran riot against the Warriors.
Yep.
Now, I saw people come out there and say, it's a different game if Sean Johnson plays. No, it ain't.
No, it ain't, yeah. Well, I mean, it probably is because he can kick further than his shadow. And
yeah, but Mike...
to be fair, Dylan Walker tried hard.
He did, but he's not a half.
No, they've turned him into a forward. He's a forward now, right? And, it's a shame that Metcalf was injured, but... Yeah, look, the Warriors, the minute he was announced injured, they were on a hiding to nothing. And once they got down like 12-0, you could just see them turn around and go, well, it's survival mode. Let's not get anyone injured. Let's not get anyone suspended. Mitch Barnett, keep your mouth shut. Don't hit anybody late. Let's get through to next week. We've got a game against Newcastle. And they'll fancy themselves against Newcastle, right?
They will, especially at home.
I wouldn't, but they would.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I just think that gap between first, like, you can almost pencil the grand final in right now.
The prelim, Brisbane will always, whoever won out of Brisbane and Melbourne, I think was going to walk to a prelim. Now, I still maintain that'll happen, but I also said that Canberra will get beaten by 40. So who knows? But yeah, I'm pretty confident. And let's be honest, it probably should be a Brisbane Penrith grand final. Mm-hmm. I'm really looking forward to the Warriors game this week, which we'll get into later. But I think they and Newcastle and even Melbourne, definitely the Roosters are just a long way behind.
Yeah. Now, Shane Flanagan, in a surprise to nobody, has signed his son. I have seen people rubbish this. I'm not going to.
No, you're not.
I'm not going to rubbish it.
Well, that's unexpected because I am going to rubbish it.
That's fine, and you can, but Kyle Flanagan, when he was at the Cronulla system, did really well. Looked like he was going to be the long-term halfback for Cronulla, and he was being guided by his dad to come in and take that number 7 off Chad Townsend, or become the number 6 to partner Chad. Thank God that didn't happen. He left and went to the Roosters in a good setup, in a good system.
Great system.
Great system. But the minute he wasn't Cooper Cronk, he was fed to the Wolves. Right?
Scapegoat. I'll give you that.
Scapegoat, right? The next decision he made was a poor one. He had the opportunity to go over the UK, like we've seen, like Jackson Hastings has, like Brodie Croft has, like Aiden Caesar has, right? Go over there, re-establish yourself, come back to the NRL as a better player who's learnt more. He went to the Dogs, right? The Dogs have no idea what they're doing, are still 3 to 5 years away from being a semi-competent fringe top 8 team.
It's sad, but yes.
And the pressure was on him. The pressure. Now, when they went and signed Matt Burton, they needed to just turn around and go, you know, for half a season, it's Kyle Flanagan, it's Matt Burton, and nothing else. But all they decided was that everyone around was letting Matt Burton down and not Matt Burton letting himself down. Okay? So I'm glad that he has now got out of that system. Yeah, he's gone to the Dragons, and no one expects the Dragons to do anything of note next year. It's going to take Flanagan a long time, Shane Flanagan, a long time to build this club back up. But Kyle Flanagan, at the moment, is the best choice, number 6, to Ben Hunt.
What I've seen floated by Dragons fans mainly is that he's a good utility. And he'll come off the bench.
Nope.
I don't think that'll happen. I think he's going to go straight into the 6. And I don't. He and Ben Hunt, yay. Like, don't get me wrong, they had to do something. So I admire the thing. And to be fair, he was best when he was under his father. And I've met Flanagan 5 or 6 times, and I can't speak highly enough. He's a polite young kid. He's always been super friendly. And I've always thought, Jesus, I hope this kid does well. And I still maintain that.
Just not against Cronulla.
Yeah, of course, goes without saying. But his attitude seems to be not so great. And he gets, upset, and he swipes out, and he does. And getting up, and this is my house, and at Cronulla when you're 40 points down, I think his dad's going to clip him around the ears and say,
good.
Maybe I'll be eating these words. To spend the money that they're rumoured to have spent on this kid, because he signed a big money deal at the Dogs into his standing of the game. We're not talking 800k. To play as a utility just seems dumb to me.
I don't think he's going to be the utility. I think so. Jaden Sullivan has obviously left and gone to the Tigers in a sideways dreadful move, and you've got Talatau Amone. I think Amone is the utility. He's the utility. He's the one who can come on, change the game. He's big enough to, sort of slot in the back row for him to do that position. Can play the 9, can play the 6. I really like this move for the Dragons. I think this is what's going to get Kyle Flanagan's career back on track. Early smoky for signing of the year for mine.
I think that's
3 weeks into it. I'll be turning around and going, he's dreadful.
Yeah, eating your words.
However, I'm positive on this because if there's anyone that's going to get anything out of Kyle, it's Shane, who was getting the best out of him.
I agree with some of what you said, and I'm going to go on record as saying they had to take this chance. But I've seen some Dragons fans celebrate this signing. I think You've just got to calm down a little bit.
Now, staying with the Bulldogs, Kyle Flanagan leaves. The Dogs are rumoured to be signing 9 players. We've heard 3 names so far. Get excited, Dogs fans, because Drew Hutchison, Jake Turpin and Kurt Mann are on the way.
I was just saying they need more utilities.
Yeah,
I
was genuinely thinking if they run out with 13 utilities and, 4 more utilities on the bench, they will come last.
Yeah, of course they will. They're a jack of all trades, master of none signings. I don't mind 1 or 2 of these, like Salmon. Okay, you put him on the bench, you can do a lot.
I forgot about him, yeah.
Okay, Turpin. Okay, yeah, he's a good backup number 9.
No, he's not.
Kurt Mann can play a few positions pretty well.
Yeah. Out of all of them, Kurt Mann's the one I like the most.
But you look at these signings and like, cool. Who plays first grade? Who runs in starting 13? You can't play 4 utilities on the bench. And there's rumours that they're going to sign these other players that are fringe reserve grade utilities or fringe first grade utilities. What's going on? Bulldogs fans are starting to cotton on to what we've been saying for years, and that is that Phil Gould doesn't really know what he's doing. He got lucky at Penrith that they came good after he left, and he could say, look what I built, because the Bulldogs have gone backwards, and I didn't think that was possible. But if you say it, he blocks you. Trust me. I guarantee you, on camera, in 3 years, we'll be sitting here talking about the Bulldogs, going through yet another cycle of disgustingly shit signings, because this ain't it.
Well, since 2020, they've been the worst team in the competition that features the Tigers and the Dragons, right? So, but yeah, Phil Gould's playing championship manager at the moment, and it's not fooling anybody. You've seen players come out and speak out about it. Raymond Fatela-Mariner, who they made captain, they're now telling him that he's free to leave.
Because he can only play 2 positions.
He's a good player.
He's better than the filth they're signing.
Mate, just we could do a whole show on the Dogs, and I guarantee we'll probably do one in the off season. So now, last but not least, right, we've seen a great round of finals, as we said. Congratulations to the Broncos. Congratulations to the Panthers. It hurts me to say this. Congratulations to the Sydney Roosters. Congratulations to the Newcastle Knights. We see the Cronulla Sharks and the Canberra Raiders valiantly leave the finals series. We're down to 6. Is Kalen Ponga the best player left in the competition right now? And is he the best player in the competition? Because my answer is yes and yes.
I'm going to try and argue with you, but it's going to be difficult. He and Reece Walsh are probably the 2 best players in the competition right now. Nathan Cleary.
Yeah, that performance from Nathan Cleary was really good.
There's your 3. If you were to say to me any of those 3 players are the best player in the comp, sweet, I'm absolutely okay with that. But I'll tell you what, Kalen Ponga doesn't have the supporting cast of the other 2.
No. And you saw the Willie Mason on the Horoscope podcast, right, where he turns around and he goes, no one does any vision on Phoenix Crossland or Jackson Hastings or Tyson Gamble. Take as much offence to that as you want. He's right. He's absolutely right. Like, at the beginning of the year, if you turn around and said a spine of Kalen Ponga, Phoenix Crossland, Tyson Gamble and Jackson Hastings are going to win 10 games in a row and be a favourite to make a prelim, everyone would have laughed at you and asked you what you had bought from your local dealer.
Reason.
He's fan, and like, they're down at halftime 16-10 and he just turned it on.
Well, Hastings was injured too. He turned
it on. Those passes, the play from Gamble to get, I really like Tyson Gamble. If ever the Dogs were going to buy a utility, there's your man.
Gamble.
There's your man. But, oh my God, like, for mine, it's Kalen Ponga. It's clear daylight. And, I mean, the worst thing for Ponga and Reece Walsh is at the end of the year, James Tedesco's still going to be the Australian fullback.
See, that cannot happen.
It's going
Either
to.
of those 2. How good are Queensland going to be next year?
Yeah, Ponga's going to be the utility. I reckon Ponga's going to be the 14 for Australian team. And Reece Walsh is going to miss out.
Yeah, which is just, it sucks. But you're exactly right. Now, look, Ponga's fantastic. He's brilliant. He started the year like a bastard because his coach put him in the wrong position.
And I've got to say this, he's my favourite player outside the Sharks.
Hey, they're completely fair. Yeah. He's a very likeable dude. He's the kind of guy that you've kind of wanted. And every time he does something stupid, you're like, come on, Kalen. Stop it. Come on.
And do you know what the worst thing about Kalen Ponga is?
His headgear.
No, I love a player.
You love the headgear? Oh,
yeah.
Milkshakes?
No.
Okay.
And not even his night tattoo. He's made me like Newcastle.
Oh, Yelsi. Oh, wow.
He's made me appreciate Newcastle. He's made me like Newcastle. And words I never ever thought I'd say. But hands down, best player in the game.
Completely fair. No, I just want to leave you with, I was about 30 seconds from tweeting, this game is Tyson Gamble versus Matt Frawley. And I'm glad I didn't, because Gamble just had the game of his life. He's been fantastic.
And so did Matt Frawley. Frawley was fantastic.
Good take, Dan.
Hey.
Gary.
Yay, talk to me, Dan.
Time to talk some black, white and blue, and the
Season's over.
beloved Cronulla Sutherland Sharks exit the competition.
Our season is over everywhere.
It is. There's one more game for the girls, but they cannot make finals. They're officially out after results did not go our way about 3 weeks ago, to be totally honest.
Yeah.
But mathematically, we're officially out now. So let's talk about Flegg real quick. They absolutely, they shit the bed.
Yep.
They got.
They had the best opportunity to have a run at the final. They bow out in straight sets.
They did. They got beaten by a very good Bulldogs team that are through the grand final after beating the Roosters in a humongous upset. Then came back and lost to a Parramatta side, despite boasting a far better side on paper. But as you said about Flegg, can go anyway on the day. They had a great season overall. Congrats. We'll see a few of those players come up for the Jets next year. But they exit again. Cronulla don't win a finals game. Pretty embarrassing. But let's talk about the elephant in the room. We lost to the Roosters by field goal at home.
For the second year in a row.
Talk to me.
Oh, I was over it pretty quickly. Right? I was over it pretty quickly at full time because it's just one of them games where you look at it and go, how did we lose? I know how we lost. People are blaming pointing the finger and blaming the wrong people for this loss. Yourself included last night, which was, as you said, for interactions and likes. And I applaud you.
Hyperbole works
I applaud you for it, but these guys have to sit down and they have to watch the replay of that game 4 or 5 times to understand just how much of a bottle job that was.
If this is any team other than the Sharks, I'm gobsmacked at how they lost.
All right, now, so just a complete... I haven't gone back and watched the replay, and I won't.
Don't.
I saw every other injury apart from Joseph Swally. What happened to him?
Had a head knock. Now, no one knew until half-time when they ruled him out. It was a Cat C, which means they've picked up on it and then taken him in and he's failed. So I actually haven't seen a Category C all season. We saw 2 this weekend in the finals, which, again, to explain is that at half-time they've gone up to him. He's shown signs. They've taken him in and he's failed.
Okay.
So I don't know what that means for next week. I don't think it's overly important. I hope he's okay, is what I'm saying, because that's a bit scary that he had delayed symptoms and they went back and you couldn't find a shot. Obviously,
it was Wade Graham.
It was obviously something, but at the time you usually know. So that was a real shame. But that edge was already struggling with Sam Walker getting run over every time they ran the ball. So Suaalii leaves, which means Manu goes on the wing, and CR Wong, who is quite a player, just quietly moves into centre. The guy who's had 5 starts to his name, all in the back row. Joey Manu scores first after half-time.
Yep.
Gets injured and leaves.
Does his hammy.
They move Ponga, who's played like 7 games, to that wing.
Killed us.
And part of me says, sweet, you got 3 of the worst defenders on one side of the It's the hope that kills you, Terry, because we went there 3 times.
Made so many
3
breaks.
breaks. Nico Hines, brilliant play, runs at Tedesco, who's sitting there 4 metres from. Tedesco tackles him out of instinct. Gets sin bin. Teddy gets up and goes, damn, he got me.
Well, first of all, Teddy got up and complained.
Yeah, but he walked off.
Tried to say that he was square. He was sat on the floor.
He was 4 metres that way. He tried to buy his team time.
I was hoping he'd challenge it.
Yeah, me too, and then waste it. But, okay, so let's talk the first half. Cronulla started extremely well. Brilliant defensive set.
Defence.
Ronaldo drops the ball off the kick, and I'm thinking, it's going to be one of those nights. We repel them, we take them to half-time. Or was it 6-0 or something?
6-0 at half-time.
Cronulla completed about 75%. The Roosters completed at 63. Terry?
No, Cronulla are at 83. Roosters are at 64 at half-time. I've got to ask you a quick question.
Yes.
Right, we scored the try. Right next to the post. My first question is, how the hell, for the second week in a row, has Braden Trindle missed a kick from 10 out right in front? And my second question is, why the hell did Nico Hines not take that?
Well, when they were warming up, Trindle was taking the kick. So I think the plan was for Trindle to kick.
I literally do not care about that, right? Like, it is a sudden death game. If if Nico Hines cannot kick a ball from 10 out right in front, he shouldn't have taken the field. Mm-hmm. That's the simplest thing there, because you can go back and say those 2 points would have been pretty handy.
Well, they would have been very handy. But
yeah.
So we're leading 6-0 at half time, and I'm thinking we really should be up quite a bit. Mm-hmm. Although the way we defended them late in the last 2.5 minutes was really good. And I'm thinking, okay, Cronulla are somewhat on here. Now, I never felt like we were going to run away with it, but I thought we're in the fight. And we were. Second half starts, someone forgets to tell the boys, Joe Manu scores untouched. And I'm thinking, okay, not...
Came off a great run from Talon May.
It did. He's a freak.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, okay, that's not great, but... The way we responded was pretty good. And it got into a bit of a,
backwards and forwards, yeah.
It was a pretty dire game, to be honest. But semi-final football, you get what you get. Tedesco's off, we go left. Nico, Trindle combined, put Ronnie over untouched. And I start to think, if we score again here, it's game over.
Yeah, we just needed that second try.
Yeah, and we made another break, and we made another break. Nothing came of it. Then we made another break, and we've got the ball just to the right of the post. And quick play the ball. Nico goes left, screens to the ball, they pull back, 6-on-3, sweet try. And your mate, Blake Brayley...
He's not my f***ing mate.
...goes right to Connor Tracy, who hits the line and loses the ball. And I said, game over, we've lost. A couple minutes later, and I'll just wait until we do that, we get a penalty and we take the 2, and I'm thinking, we're conceding here. We think we've scored enough points.
You had to take the 2 points there.
I disagree. I would have gone left... and I would have purped him because 4 points or 6 points, whatever. Sam Walker wasn't missing a kick anywhere. It was more than 2 is what I was thinking, and at the time I was screaming. Then when they kicked the 2, I thought, okay, no worries, ruck it up, kick a field goal, which we tried to do, and we had plenty of space, and they didn't take the field goal.
They didn't take the field goal.
So I'm going to go back to you and let you rant about Brayley before I get on to the last 10 minutes.
I'm not going to rant about Brayley. The first rant that I have is when Ronnie makes the break, and he's one-on-one with Sandon Smith. And he tries to take him on the outside. Mm-hmm. If he steps on the inside, he scores.
He burns him, yeah.
Yeah, he steps on the inside, he scores.
I actually forgot about another moment, but please go on.
Yeah, so there were multiple, we had the bomb where it ended up with Brayley and he threw a pass 25 metres back. Oregon Kafusi picks the ball up, we lose the momentum. We had as you've said, the 6-on-3 overlap where Nico Hines is screaming for the ball and he passes the ball to Connor Tracy, and you hear what everyone thought about Blake Brayley after that play. You heard it through the camera. Mm-hmm. But at when we got the penalty, 12-6, there was 34 seconds left of James Tedesco in the sin bin. Mm-hmm. You've got to take the 2 points.
I don't even think if Tedesco's on there, you take the 2. You're right. We had him shot to pieces.
You had to take the 2 there.
But I forgot to mention before, we did on one of the breaks that I mentioned before, Ronaldo kicks in and Blake Brayley bombs the easiest try of all time.
Oh, my God.
I saw some people say he got a bad bounce. No, he didn't. The only bloke that was in 10 metres of him was an offside Sifa Talakai who knew he was offside and pulled out. Mm-hmm. Played it perfectly.
Yeah.
Got caught out of position, played it perfectly. Brayley knocks on, shits himself and drops the ball and gives away a 7-tackle set. If he scores, we go on to win that game by 30 because we were killing them.
I hate that guy so much.
Now, I've seen some people go on the groups and reply to tweets and say, oh, Brayley defended well last night. He missed like 6 or 8 tackles. He was diabolical.
10% of the missed tackles.
He bombed 2 certain tries, and he's the reason. I'm going to say it on, so I don't care what people say. He's the reason we're not playing next weekend.
He's the reason we're not.
Do not come at me and say this bloke played well. I get it, he's had an okay season, but he was disgusting last night. Ooh. I've also seen some people, and sorry to get on a rant, come out and say, geez, Royce Hunt was real good, and I thought Oregon Kafusi. Bullshit! Both of them offered 3/5 of all, and good luck to the bloke who has to edit this. I feel really bad. They were diabolical. Toby Rudolph played 64 minutes, Terry, in a prelim final where he was gassed after 30, and Jess Colquhoun played, 8 minutes or 11 minutes and made 3 runs. I'm blaming this firmly on Blake Brayley, Craig Fitzgibbon, the amount of people that have come out and said Nico Hines isn't up to it. What more do you want to do? He dragged us to a final series. He kept us in the game. Okay, he missed a field goal. I get it. You can't play a bloke who can't kick field goals $1 million. I got guilty of saying that. But if you're blaming Nico Hines over those aforementioned 2, plus our pot plant middles, delete your account, stop watching football, you do not understand the game.
Royce Hunt was okay. He made 104 metres, okay? But the problem was his first stint was brilliant. He had 5 runs for 70 metres, got taken off, and didn't come back on until the second lap. Now, with Oregon Kafusi, I saw someone turn around and quote his stats. In the 24 minutes he was on the field, he only had 5 runs. But in the 25 minutes he was on the field, we only had 25% of the possession. So you can't have a run when you don't have the ball. Is basically what I'm getting at there. I thought I had really high hopes for Oregon Kaufusi because he had a great year for Parramatta. He was in their grand final squad and he's in the World Cup final squad. Mm-hmm. He just hasn't come to Cronulla and really put the stamp in that I thought he was going to. I feel a little bit sorry for Jesse Colquhoun last night. At the same time, I think that he's maybe a season away from being completely up to it. Cause I was thinking that he should be on the bench this year and maybe pushing for a starting spot next year. I think he'd be lucky to get on the bench next year, if I'm perfectly honest. I think he's got another year of development in him. You could see that we really, really missed Tom Hazelton. That injury, really hurt us. I don't even know what it was. It was an ab injury, yeah. Oh, Jack Williams was fantastic off the bench
He's good,
yet
but
again.
I don't agree with that, but let's go.
You don't think Williams was good?
I thought he ran hard, but he also dropped the ball and gave away a stupid penalty. He's got 2 of them in him a game now. Now, I know 8 weeks ago I made that claim and you came out and rightfully sat me in my place. Try now.
I really thought that the only error that he made in the game, Sam Walker stripped that ball.
He did, but you got to hold it.
Oh, okay, yeah. And so... Are we saying the same thing about Toby Rudo if I had 3 people on him that strip?
That was a humongous strip.
You can't hold a ball when someone's stripping it at you. Like, if you hold the ball under your arm and I strip it, I can strip that off you.
That was horrible, that Toby
but he's got them, like, he's fighting. You don't understand when a player's fighting. You go and reef that ball. You can do it. Now, I understand Sam Walker weighs 70 kilos or whatever, but he had Jack Williams hit him in the tackle and he just pulled his arm and ripped the ball out. Now, we were lucky that Manu knocked it on as well, but there were 2 knock-ons in there, and neither one of them was from Jack Williams. I don't know. I feel a little bit, I'm okay. I'm okay because I feel vindicated all year from bagging our number 9, and he is the main reason that we lost the game, and I guess I can just walk away happy from that.
Look, that's a very good... Yeah. I like that.
As someone once said to me, it's a great week for agendas.
It is a great week. Now, we're going to discuss this a lot more on Fins Up. I'm going to save what I was going to say for that about Fitzgibbon referencing Colquhoun. So we'll save that. So if you want to check in, do so at your own. But we need to make changes, is the right. And we'll go into that in Fins Up and we'll do a full end of season review. Now, there were some hot takes, Terry, that I referenced before. I got a little bit ahead and fired up, and I apologise to no one. Mm-hmm. People coming out and saying Blake Brayley's good are wrong. People that came out and say that Hines isn't up to it are wrong. People coming out saying our forward pack was great are wrong. And people coming out and both saying Fitz needs to be sacked are wrong. And people that are saying he's a great coach are wrong. It's somewhere in the middle. Now, I called for him to be sacked because I was looking for reactions and I was angry and I wanted people to buy it so I could smash him. I ended up going away and recording a podcast and getting a lot of it out and let a lot of comments go. So, once again, I apologise to no one. But if you think his press conference annoyed me a little bit, saying, we're grown up as a football team. No, you haven't. We're starting to do things and people are putting us down in the media. Yeah, they're putting you down because you suck. You lost to a team. If that Roosters were at full strength and beat us last night, whatever. They're a better team than us. But you cannot lose that game at home.
No, you should have lost that game at home. That's what hurts the most. Just finally, the girls had a win in the derby. 1-0.
They can't beat us in anything.
Little sister, they went down to us. 16 points to 8. Congratulations to everyone named Emma Tonagato. And one more game to go and this horrific season is over.
Go out on a win.
Mm-hmm. Dan.
Talk to me, Terry.
It's time for 2 games of top sport tips.
Only 2? Only 2. And important too.
Yeah, important too. I'm really looking forward to getting a perfect round this week.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that hard.
Friday night, the Melbourne Storm host the Sydney Roosters. Now, I've already seen Roosters fans complaining about this because there's an AFL game next door and it's going to be hard for them to get there.
Oh no, Melbourne have an AFL game in September. Who would have thought? Roosters fans just need to shut up.
Yeah. Look, the game's not going to get moved. And
nor should it.
The Storm, horrific scenes with Ryan Pappenhausen. I'm glad though that the coverage, I watched this game at my cousin's house. I'm pretty sure on Channel 9, and the Channel 9 coverage didn't show a replay of the injury and didn't have the camera on him until he was on the cart waving at the fans with the green stick. So congratulations to everyone involved in that. Xavier Coates.
Except 9, all the socials had replays of the incident. Dumb. They were deleted because you went to the comments and 86 people were like, what are you doing? But yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Xavier Coates also set to be ruled out, which will bring Grant Anderson back into the team.
Yeah, terrible news.
A couple of failed concussions as well.
Yeah, they're
down on troops. The Roosters are down on troops.
Both teams are there to be beaten.
Yeah, so Swally, he's out with the concussion. Because it's Category C, apparently he's done.
Okay, yeah.
Joey Manu's done with the hamstring injury.
Yep.
Tough game.
Hugely tough game.
And just with what you said there with the Hughes, I don't think you can play that bad again. I'm going to pick Melbourne to win.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Melbourne because Cam Munster was terrible. Jerome Hughes was terrible. Harry Grant had the worst game of all time. That cannot happen again.
No, when you turn around and say that your best spine player was Nick Meaney?
Yeah, and he was. Undisputedly.
He's fantastic.
Now, yeah, I'm tipping them because they can't play that badly again. Plus, the ghosts of the Roosters are just there to be beaten. Cronulla softened them up.
Yeah,
or something.
I think
Melbourne run away with this and do it easy, but congrats to the Roosters for making this far. When 8 weeks ago, they shouldn't have played for them.
And now 4 o'clock on Saturday to get prime time television.
Glad.
I'm glad that is. I would have been okay with 5:30 as the Warriors games normally are on a Saturday, but 4 o'clock's good.
Yeah, but Channel 9 want their news.
Well, this is the great thing as well because we get a fantastic game of football, and it's by 6 o'clock you get your night back.
Yeah, that's completely true. Now I have launched a petition. I want a 2-game series between these teams. I want them to play both in New Zealand and in Newcastle, just purely for the entertainment. This is the game of the round.
This is the best sets of fans here. Now, I have seen, I follow a lot of Newcastle fans on Twitter and I interact with a lot of them as well. And I've seen people saying, "How do we get tickets?" I'm going to put in for annual leave to get over there. Newcastle fans, if you can get over there, get over there.
It's going to be tremendous.
This ground is going to... It's at Eden Park.
Yep.
This is going to be absolutely electric. Now, Sean Johnson will play this game.
He's going to have to.
Yeah. Well, all reports were that he could have played. But
he said he couldn't. And Andrew Webster went on record and said that if this was a knockout, would he have played? And he said, no, he can't play.
Oh, right.
And Johnson said, I'm hoping to be right this week. I think they'll wheel him out even if he has 1 week.
I think you needle him up.
You have to. And Johnson isn't going to not play.
No. I'm tipping Newcastle.
Yeah, I have to go against you because it's boring otherwise, but not for 1 second would I be surprised. And I actually wrote in the Zero Tackle chat that I expect the Warriors to get bounced now because Newcastle are unstoppable. They're just fine until next week when they get flogged. But whatever.
I say this now, and it's we were just talking about Kalen Ponga, the best player, and their wingers are so important to what they do. And at what point does Dominic Young turn around and go, probably shouldn't have left?
Well, 8 weeks ago is when that should happen.
10 weeks ago, yeah.
I'm tipping the Warriors because I feel I have to, but
I'm going Newcastle on this one.
Up the wires.
Up the Nars. Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Rugby League Outlaws brought to your good friends at Top Sport. Don't forget to like and subscribe, bring the feedback on to us. We appreciate the interactions.
Good feedback.
Dan does it just for fun. We know this.
Yeah.
We love this.
Don't out me. Don't tell them my plans. You got a quiz to prepare for, Terry. A grand final quiz.
A grand final quiz.
I don't know when it'll be yet.
Good, because I'm not prepared.
Yeah, but I'm thinking grand final week. Just to get in the festivities.
Yes,
I'll check with, of course, we've got some other contestants too. But yeah, look, Rugby League doesn't speak to me anymore.
No, it doesn't. But finals footy, baby.